begin this Monday as the federal government shutdown approaching an all-time record. The White House says today that it'll partially fund SNAP, the federal food assistance program that aids millions of Americans for basic food needs. But when that relief will actually be in the so-called wallets of Americans is up in the air. And with the government shutdown touching just about every aspect of American life, a new NBC News poll shows what Americans think about each party. If the shutdown does make it to Wednesday, it would become the longest in American history. NBC's Yamiche Alcindor reports from Washington.
Today, relief could be on the way for some of the millions of Americans who depend on the government for food assistance. The Trump administration saying it would use contingency funds to partially pay SNAP recipients for November. That comes after a federal judge ordered the Agriculture Department to pay out benefits. But officials say that money will only cover half of SNAP, leaving Americans in limbo and in long lines at food drives.
It make a big difference. Now we know that we can all eat for a day or two.
On Wednesday, this will become the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. But Republicans and Democrats remain locked in a standoff over health care, with neither party willing to budge. Last night in a 60 Minutes interview, President Trump putting the blame completely on Democrats.
The Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it.
But a new NBC News poll shows Americans blame Republicans and President Trump more for the shutdown. The president's approval rating has fallen to 43%, down from last spring. In fact, most Americans say the president hasn't lived up to their expectations on most things except border security and immigration. Meanwhile, tomorrow, the country heads to the polls to vote in a slew of elections, including for 2 new governors and the race for New York City mayor. The new poll showing signs of concern for Republicans in next year's midterm elections, with 50% of Americans saying they would rather have Democrats control Congress. But neither party getting high marks from many Americans.
I think the whole system is a mess. And I think that both sides are to blame. I think the whole system is to blame. And I think that the power should be in the hands of the people.
This latest NBC News poll also shows that 66% of all voters have a high level of interest in next year's midterm elections. Yamiche Alcindor, NBC News, Washington.